Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Kate and I'm just a hopeless romantic that loves to read. So today we are going to eventually get to my TBR jar picks, my February reads. However, I need to stop using my favorite mug for all my prompts, so I got a jar. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to kind of do a mini audit on the prompts that I do have. I've already written them all out. We're going to go through them together because I actually haven't gone through them. We're going to maybe get rid of some, adjust some, add some. And then what I'm going to do is I've got some colored paper here and I'm going to chop all that up, rewrite these prompts out and then put them in my new jar. And then from there we can go pick my prompts for the month. But yeah, so grab a drink, get cozy, and let's get on into this video. Okay, so from all of the prompts that I do have, I think there's 28, 29 here. So let's go through them. I know that when I first did like the jar or mug and all these prompts back in November, I found it really difficult to actually think of them for the first time or know kind of what prompts to write. I don't know if that makes any sense. So it took me a while to come up with all of these ones that I do have. I was contemplating sitting there going, oh, should I make like a prompt for every book on my shelf? And I was like, no, that's just ridiculous because I don't want to be so specific with the prompts, but then some I do want to be specific with. So I don't know. We'll see how we go. I still like having that choice. I still like going, okay, so for example, any romance. Cool, go to my romance section, see what I'm wanting to pick off the shelf. And then from there, I'll read the blurbs, then make my final decision kind of thing. But I will say, with doing these TBR monthly pick prompts has really helped me with picking the books to read because I'm not always a mood reader. However, I enjoy having the stack of books that I've set out to read that month and then to pick from there. Because sometimes when I go to my bookshelves, I'm just like, what the fuck do I want to read? Like, where do I even start? Because I have over 100 books that I haven't read. I've got series I haven't started. I have series that I'm currently in. So it's just like, sometimes I'm just standing there and I look at it for like 5 minutes and then walk away. So having these prompts is super helpful. So with the jar, I can obviously add a bunch more as well. It was quite a cute little jar that I found. I was going to film me going to look for a jar, but the day I found this one, because I was really particular with like a glass thinner jar with like an easy to remove lid. I didn't want to go every time. So I just wanted something like that. And I just saw this one, it was the last one. I had my hands full in Kmart, as you do. And I was literally like, oh, went grab. So I'm happy that I got this. It's a small glass canister. So whatever, if you want your own, that's what it was called. But yeah, so with the prompts that I already have, let's go through them and see which ones I want to keep, which ones I want to adjust. And we'll go from there. Because I do have like a bunch that I'm thinking of adding, so I want to see if any of them cross over. All right, so a book less than 300 pages. I actually don't think I have too many under 300 pages right now, so I think I might get rid of that one. An audiobook. I do a lot of driving with my work, so audiobooks are kind of granted for me. I always pick them up, especially if they're on my Kindle Unlimited with the free audio, so I don't have to use my Spotify hours. That's a bonus, and I have quite a few of them lined up at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do is get rid of that one. Opposite themes or tropes from the last book you've read. I think that's a cool one because I have a lot of the same tropes, or I kind of pick a lot of the same themes. So I'm thinking the last book that I read month previous will be the opposite kind of tropes themes for that one. So I'll keep that one. A book with a stunning cover. I have a few of these, so I like that one. A Kindle book. I have so many books that I want to just read off my Kindle. So many liked books as well. So I'm going to keep that. I love just having my Kindle there. It's just so much an easier read. Sometimes if I don't want to pick a book from my TBR, I'll just grab one off my Kindle because I know that I'll be at my partner's place a lot, or if I'm going on a road trip, or if I need something a bit more portable than an actual book, then I'll just start reading a Kindle book. I've always got a Kindle book going. Yeah, so a book with your favorite trope. I don't know if I want that to be more specific, but then I'm like, oh, my favorite trope is constantly changing. So I think I'm going to keep it as general as that, and then I can narrow it down on the day when I pull it. A book you think is going to be a good time. Maybe I might keep that one. I don't know. A book you think will be 5 stars. I think I will keep that one. But then am I setting the expectations too high? We'll come back to that. Any romance. I like that one. Gives me a bit more free reign. An auto by author. I have so many auto by authors at the moment, and I have books of them that I need to read. A recommended book. See, a book that I think is going to be a good time and a recommended book. I feel like a book that I think is going to be a good time 9 times out of 10 is a book that's been recommended. So I think I might kind of combine those into like the one prompt and just get rid of the recommended book, but more so into a book that I think is going to be a good time. I think that might be better. Retry a DNF. I pulled this last year and I was so disappointed because I thought that the book that I DNF'd and picked was because of me and thinking that I was in a mood, but I wasn't. It was the tropes put together. Like, they were good tropes, I just did not like them together. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that prompt because I don't want to waste my time with DNF'd books. If I've DNF'd it previously, it was very hard for me to DNF because I really was not one to DNF. I would just suffer. I did my first DNF. If you watched my January wrap up, you would know what book that was. I'm not going to be wasting my time. I want to be more intentional with what I'm reading these days. So I don't really feel up to retrying DNFs. So I'm going to get rid of that. A book you are scared to read, I will keep that because there are so many on my shelf that I'm terrified to jump into that. Start throwing a glass again. So I've already pulled this in January. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to get rid of that because I'm actually currently going through this series with my 75 book challenge. If you follow me on my socials, you would know. A book that has been on your shelf the longest. I'm going to keep that because I have quite a few that have been on my shelf for maybe a year or even longer. A book outside your usual genre. I think that I'm going to keep that one. I don't have too many on my shelf though that are outside of my usual genre. I do have like historical fictions and other things like that. So I'll keep that there. I'll keep it there, and when it comes to it, because I can always pull something off my Kindle as well if I don't have the physical copy. So that's fine. We can manage. Where am I up to? Start/continue an interconnected standalone series. So what I'm thinking with this one is I might actually split it to 2, and it'll be start a new series and continue a series that I'm currently in or something like that. I don't know why I've put interconnected standalone series. I don't know why I've done that, but I'm gonna go start a new series and then continue a current series. I think if I split that into 2 prompts, that'll be fine. Set in current season. Now, I really like this one, okay? Like, for example, I'm in summer, so I can pick a book that's based in summer. Or if I was in autumn, I could pick an autumn book. I feel like that is a really fun prompt, so I'm gonna keep that. A non-fiction self-help book. I have like a whole bottom of my shelf with a whole bunch of self-help and non-fiction books. There are a few on there that I haven't read yet, like Mel Robbins' Let Them Theory. There's one called Attached, knowing about your attachment styles. So I think I'm going to keep that there because it's different. It breaks up all my fiction as well. And plus it's still helping me because I was heavily into my self-help and my non-fiction and being a better person quite a few years ago. So I still want to keep that going. So I'm going to keep that prompt. A book you've only seen good things about. So that's another one that is highly recommended as well. Or a book that I think is going to be a good time. So those 3 prompts, I think I'm going to just combine into one prompt. I think that's a smart way to go about it. A comfort reread, an old fave. So I love a reread prompt. Actually, I found out I reread Twisted Games in January and it was so good. It was just as good as the first time. So I'm going to keep that because I do have a few rereads on my 26 books of 2026 as well. So I think that will be just a good prompt to add and keep in there. A book you forget you have. There are so many books, particularly on my top shelf, that I always forget that I have. So I'm going to keep that one on the list. A book you really want to read but haven't. There are so many other books like that as well. So I think that those two prompts I'm going to keep there because then they're kind of more of like a free pick, but it's also calling me out. Yeah. An academic or workplace setting. I have so many books like that, so we are going to keep that. A book that will make you cry. I actually have a few heart wrenchers currently on my shelf, so that will motivate me to read them even though I don't want to cry because I sob like a baby. I need to read them because they're good stories, as I've heard and read the blurb and stuff. So yeah. I have a 10 before the end, so what I'm going to do is I want to switch that out to 26 books of 2026 pick, and go from there because I have that list. A book from a new author. I have a lot of new authors on my shelf, so that one's a good one. A book you keep putting off. There are so many books I keep putting off, particularly the ones that are series that I'm in. I keep putting them off. A new release from this year. I think I might change that to maybe like new releases within the last 4 to 6 months or something like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So those are all the ones that are currently within here. So with those adjustments, I think I'm going to add and reword them to these ones. So a YA book, because I have a few, a book under 400 pages, a single word title book, start a new series, continue a current series. I also want to put a free pick prompt in there just to give me the freedom of picking whatever. A romantasy read, a sports romance, a cowboy romance, because I have so many of them. A book by an indie author, because one of my reading goals this year is to read at least 4 books from indie authors, which I actually am. A girl in my book club, KS Elliott, she has released 2 books now in her duology. I'm reading the first one at the moment on my Kindle. Like I said, I always have a book going on my Kindle. But yeah, so you check her out if you want to. So that will be a good one. And boyfriend picks my read. So getting my partner boyfriend over to pick a read. Don't know how that's going to go because he has no idea about books. It's hilarious. But that should be fun. I know everything he's going to pick, I'm going to be like, really? Do you have to pick that one? Could just see it happening now. And then we have a new release in the last 4 months, and then a gifted read, because I do have a few Fairy Mail and Secret Santa stuff that are on my shelf that I haven't read yet. So that is something that I'm going to add to it. But yeah, I think those are pretty solid prompts that are just going to get me to pick a wide variety. Like I said, I'm not always a mood reader, but I like having a good wide selection of books, but not too overwhelming as if me going to my bookshelf going, yep, what do I want to read, you know? That's the vibe. So yeah, I'm going to cut up a bunch of these little pieces of paper, write on them, and then stick them in my new jar. If you have any prompts, suggestions, or any prompts that you thoroughly enjoy, I mean, I did do a reorganize my bookshelf video, and if you've watched that, you kind of see what I have on my shelf to help me with these prompts to get them off my TBR. So yeah, put them in the comments and I'll add them to the jar as we go. Yeah, but other than that, I think that's pretty much all I want to say. I'm not going to do the TBR picks today because I have my book club read for January tomorrow, and we pick our book club book then. I'm pretty sure we've already picked it, but we just have to confirm it, and then I will do all of this because always I make sure the book club read is on my TBR because that is a priority. But yeah, I will do all of this right now. There we are. Now, I'm sorry if you're a perfectionist and you watched that and it killed you, but I'm not. I just winged that. I wasn't going to line them all up. If you do, good on you. You have more patience than me. But yeah, we're going to start writing on them now. Okay, so that's all of the prompts into the jar. So I will do my picks tomorrow after my book club meet up. So we have our February read and then I will pick my books. All right, guys, it is now the next day. I had my book club meet this morning. Such a good time. Those girls are so friendly. Love talking about books too. And we picked our monthly read. So the first book that will be on my February TBR is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Cherie Thompson. So a lot of the girls have started this already or have nearly finished it, and they said it's really funny. I was like, oh, should I buy the book or listen to the audio? They were like, you know what, the audiobook would be pretty funny. But I think maybe I might do like an immersive read. I'm really into the immersive reads at the moment with selected books, but I got like a beautiful sprayed edged edition. It's not a huge story either, which is fine. So the preface is, when Jamie Prescott attends a speed dating event, she expects to meet some mediocre men and have a laugh. She doesn't expect one of her dates to have his throat slit at the table during a blackout. When the lights come back on, there are more bodies on the floor and the doors are locked. Armed with makeshift weapons and her extensive knowledge of what not to do in a slasher situation, Jamie must figure out how to make it out of the building alive. But as the night progresses, she begins to suspect the killer is trying to woo someone. What happened to roses and perfume? Yeah, right? And why can't Jamie stay focused on the important thing here, which is obviously not getting murdered, instead of being distracted by a few hot guys, especially when one of the hot guys happens to be a bad guy? Oops, that sounds fun. This sounds like it's going to be a good adventurous time. But yeah, a lot of the girls have said it's funny and it's a good time and they're really enjoying it. So I have high expectations, but I don't know what I'm in for. I really don't. Even with that blurb, I don't know what I'm in for. So it's going to be a good time. Book one is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Days. Now, before we start picking prompts out of the TBR jar, I am doing the 75 book challenge and I'm heavily focusing that on the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. So I'm going to put the next two in that because I have just finished Assassin's Blade. So I'm going to put Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows into this month's TBR because these are a lot more on the chunkier side and they're going to take me a bit longer to get through. I think these should take me about 4 to 5 days to get through. So you know what, we'll see. But yeah, these are going to be also on my TBR just to keep me motivated, keep me going, okay? Because I love having a TBR, but I really want to finish this series. So we have book 2 and 3 right here. Okay, so now it is TBR jar prompt time. So because I have those 3 books, I'm thinking with it being a shorter month, I'm thinking 3 jars. So that will give me 6 books for the month to get through. So I think that might be a very good way to go. So let's pick a prompt. What's this one? Can't open it. A 26 book of 2026. All right. Easy. I know exactly what I'm going to pick. Okay, so I actually have 2 options here. One is a reread and then one is a new read. So the first one is Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields. I loved this. This was a 5-star dark romantasy for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this and I really want to read it again. It is only a short version. So this is a very high contender. But also I picked up Happy Place by Emily Henry. So I did DNF Book Lovers in January. It wasn't my thing, but I loved Funny Story. And I hear a lot of mixed things about Happy Place. So yeah, I want to pick it up because obviously DNF and an author, I really want to give them a go with the catalogue. But yeah, I don't know. I know that this is about a couple that broke up 6 months ago, but they go on an annual trip with their friends and they just kind of pretend to be in love when they're not. And then, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to read that. I think I'm going to go for a reread because I thoroughly enjoyed rereading Twisted Games. But I will have this on the back burner if I have time or if I smash through my TBR, then I will pick this up. But for now, I think book 4 is going to be Amid Clouds and Bones. All right, let's go for the other prompt. And this one is a book set in the current season. Okay, so I'm in Australia. It is summer. It is hot this summer as well. But I have so many summer romances, and I know the perfect one that I have every excuse in the world not to read, and I've been putting off procrastinating, but I'm going to read it now. So you probably could guess what it is, but it is Miss Ali Hazelwood's A Problematic Summer. I really should have read this when it came out because I loved Rue and Eli in Not in Love. I freaking devoured that book. I loved it. And I know that this is an age gap as well. They are on vacation, and they are the sister. Maya is the sister to Eli. So I know that Rue and Eli actually make appearances in this as well. And I think that MMC Connor is a part of the university somehow. Yeah. So Maya is 23 and still in the process of figuring out her life. Connor Harkness is 38 and Maya cannot stop thinking about him. It's such a cliche, it almost makes her heart implode. Older men and younger women, successful biotech guy and a struggling grad student, brother's best friend, and the girl he never even knew existed. As Connor loves to remind her, the power dynamic is too imbalanced. Any relationship between them would be problematic in too many ways to count, and Maya should just get over him. After all, he has made it clear that he wants her gone from his life. So, yeah, right. But not everything is as it seems, and cliches sometimes become plot twists. Yeah, right. Cool. I think there's a wedding overseas as well. I'm not going to do too much more on the blurb because I like going into Ali Hazelwood's books blind because I never know what I'm actually going to expect from it. I have heard a lot of things about this, the way he comes in his pants and stuff like that. So just little micro tropes that people love and are obsessed with. But yeah, so this is book number 5, A Problematic Summer by Ali Hazelwood. All right, and now the last prompt. Oh, we got 2. Oh, here we go. A book you are scared to read. I don't know if I can think of any. Let me have a look. What am I scared to read? Yeah, I looked at this book on my shelf and I was like, you know what? I'm actually scared to read you. And that is Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World, because I know that a lot of people don't like this book, but they read it to get to yours truly, even though they are interconnected standalone. I think it's an reverse age gap, so she's older than him. She's a city girl and he is a tradie. And I think just a lot of her decisions in this are a bit questionable, and her treatment of him from what I know. So you know what? I'm not going to read the blurb. I'm not going to read the blurb because I've heard a lot of opinions about it and I want to make my own. So I'm going to read this, even though I'm absolutely terrified. I will read this. So book number 5 is going to be Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. So guys, there we have it. I think that's a pretty decent sized stack for February, with it being a shorter month, but I'm also getting through a lot of books at the same time and I'm sticking to my goals. So I'm happy with that. If you've read any of these, let me know how you went with them. But yeah, that will be my book TBR for this month. So guys, that is the end of the video. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. If you want to join me on my other social platforms, I'll leave the handles on the screen. Come join the bookish chaos over there. It's a good time. And yeah, wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great day or night. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.